Look, all I'm saying is that this could have been the perfect opportunity to hear me talk shit about Boba Fett for like 5 minutes. Or, however long this video is going to be. So you missed out. Readers, while I wouldn't necessarily say it's an obsession of mine, I would have to say that the one gotta go meme game is it's pretty interesting depending on what the choices are. For those of you unfamiliar, the concept of the one gotta go meme game is that you're given a choice of 4 things, mostly all within the same group category. And out of those 4 things, you pick one of them that you feel that you can personally do without, and you wouldn't mind see, like, never existing in the first place. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, then you probably know that I've given my opinions regarding some of the one gotta goes I've stumbled across on the internet. That's why for this Readus Relives, I've asked you both on YouTube and on Twitter which one gotta go choices that you had for me. And surprisingly enough, only the Twitter fam came through. So I chose 7 of my favorite ones that you guys submitted through Twitter, and decided to choose one straight from the One Gotta Go Twitter page itself. So with that being said, let's get started. Hey, I'm Kirby submitted FMK, MASH, Lemons, this or that. What? So I have no idea what any of this is or if this is even a serious submission. Like, I know that this or that is kind of like one gotta go in the sense where you're choosing one over the other, which initially made me think that this was a one gotta go in regards to one gotta go based games. Then I looked up what FMK was and found out that that was a company that makes handguns, and I'm just questioning everything now. So in the case that this is a serious one gotta go, I'm all for gun control, so FMK. There you go, hey, I'm Kirby. I've turned your potential joke submission into a political statement. I can play this game too, bitch. Also, thank you for following me on Twitter and watching my videos. Payton Tarver submitted Black Panther, Coco, Crazy Rich Asians, or Love Simon. So first of all, how dare you? Second of all, I hate that I haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians yet. It was definitely on my list of movies to watch while I was in theaters. I'm gonna have to fix that this weekend. And yes, fine, I'll also watch Logan then, shut up. So I loved Black Panther and Coco, so they're safe. Love Simon is a bit of a conflict for me though. While I'm well past the phase of queer coming out stories leaving an impact on me personally and ready to see more characters and narratives that actually normalize it, I wouldn't necessarily want to take this away from anybody who needed to see it. On the other hand, I have real strong opinions about the blackmail portion of the story and how they use the love at first sight trope in this movie. Plus, it's not like the book has to disappear if I choose it, since you only gave me the option of movies, so Love Simon it is! Haha, bitch! The Brick Rookie submitted the Lego Movie, the Lego Batman movie, the Lego Ninjago movie, or the Lego Movie 2, the second part. So out of these 4, the only one that I haven't seen is the Lego Ninjago movie. And that's due to the fact that I saw little to no advertisement for this bitch, and I completely missed its run in theaters because I didn't think it was in theaters yet. But given how good the Batman movie was and the first Lego movie was, I'm just going to assume that the Lego Ninjago movie was the shit, so they're pretty much safe for me. Lego Movie 2 though, did we really need it? I mean, really. Sure, the message was good, and the way it played out was good, but the first part is still clearly superior. And the only one you really need to watch out of the 2. Maybe if they tweaked a few of the things that I had problems with when I initially reviewed the Lego Movie 2, the second part, but yeah, I wouldn't miss it if it decided to, not exist. Scott from NerdSync submitted Matthew Patel, Lucas Lee, Todd Ingram, and Roxy Richard. Matthew Patel. Matthew Patel. And I'm not saying that because I personally think that he's a chump-ass tutorial boss. I mean, he is, but that's beside the point. Like, if one of the choices were the DJ twins, I would have easily picked them because holy shit, was that part of the movie like the definition of filler, Jesus Christ. But the way that Patel came off was very incel-ish. And compared to the other evil exes I have to choose from, he's just not that interesting. So the next few came from fellow reader Michael Scally over on Twitter. He actually submitted more than the initial 3 that I chose, and holy shit were those... You had a lot of time on your hands, sir. So just know that out of all the ones that he submitted, these 3 are my favorites. Takahashi Takeda, Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, and Kung Jin in Mortal Kombat 10, aka the Combat Kids. So... Takeda can go, real talk. Personally, I love Cassie and Jackie too much in the Mortal Kombat X story, like X, either of them. And Kung Jin has a lot of potential being like the very first archer in the Mortal Kombat franchise. Plus he's gay, so I feel like eliminating him would be a bit of a self-hate crime. And considering the 3 that I mentioned, I enjoyed their characters, their personalities, and what all they can do mechanically wise in the actual game, Takeda always just felt kind of bland out of all the combat kits they introduced. Like for somebody with the potential to be a well-seasoned dish, you out here being Karen's raisin-filled potato salad. What the fuck? And that's kind of sad considering that he's the Jin Kazama of the new Mortal Kombat timeline. I just couldn't connect with him at all. Icon, Rocket, Static, and Hardware. Okay, so first of all, if you thought that I was going to Infinity Snap my boy Virgil, then you need to go to your room and think about what you've done. As far as who I choose, I personally blame DC for it, because they have done nothing to make me aware that this character exists at all. Like, I've seen enough of Icon and Rocket over the course of comics and television shows to have an idea on who they are, despite never reading a comic book that they've been in, but I have no idea who the fuck Hardware is. Like, I kind of assume that Hardware is kind of like the equivalent of, no, let me not do that, I'll just put my foot in my mouth. So I want it on record that I'm only picking Hardware not because I think he's whack or some shit, but because my knowledge of him is extremely limited, and I apologize for that. Neptune and Uranus, Korra and Asami, Utena and Anthe, and Ruby and Sapphire. So not only is Uranus my favorite Sailor Scout, but I've always shipped her and Neptune. I've never watched The Legend of Korra from beginning to end, but I know enough about the show to know that her and Asami's relationship wasn't ham-fisted. And anybody even entertaining the idea that Ruby and Sapphire can go ought to be ashamed of themselves. So we've once again run into a situation where I have personally never heard of these characters before. And that's because I've never seen the show in question, which in this case is the anime Revolutionary Girl Utena. Like, apparently not only is this anime queer as fuck, but it's an awesome staple in gay and trans representation in 1990s Japan. It just personally wasn't on my radar until I decided to look up more LGBT anime after watching Yearly on Ice. And even then, at the time, it wasn't one that piqued my interest. My mind might change after I've seen the actual anime for myself, but for right now, Utena and Anthe. And the last one for this video I chose straight from One Gotta Go's Twitter feed. SpongeBob SquarePants, The Simpsons, Family Guy, or South Park. So my answer is South Park, and I'm going to tell you why. I've always had a love-hate relationship with South Park. The only time I really enjoy watching South Park is when they have their multi-part epics. And that's because they're really good when they have enough time to rely on more than just shock humor and actually plot out shit. And that goes double when the subject in question is actually being properly dissected and the moral of the story actually means something. But lately, I just feel that the show is doing more harm than good with the subjects that they're trying to tackle. Also, the show has the habit of being in that stubborn-ass headspace, where they look at the struggles of somebody completely different than them, and instead of trying to understand it or develop empathy for it, they refuse to translate it in a perspective other than their own, and it just comes off as insensitive garbage 3/4 of the time. Also, people love Cartman for all the reasons why you're supposed to hate Cartman, and that irritates me so much. At least Family Guy and The Simpsons are actually trying to get better with the way they get their narratives off across, despite them trying to defend their own bullshit in the past. And SpongeBob doesn't have to worry about that shit at all. It's great. Not my cup of tea, but it's great that they don't have to worry about it. So yeah, I wouldn't bat an eye if South Park just disappeared forever. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anyway, readers, your homework assignment for the day. I wouldn't mind doing another one of these videos in the future, so write in the comments section below one that you think has to go out of 4. Or if you think the ones that I chose were crazy, which ones you thought had to go. Either way, I'd love to know your thoughts. If you want to help financially support the channel, you can join my Patreon by clicking the card at the end of the video or in the link in the description down below, where you can also find a link to my merchandise store. Or if you prefer to give one-time donations, you can find links to my PayPal and my Ko-fi page in the description box as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. But until then, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.